episode of Gone with the Gale. This is Scotland, day 4. Today we're going to visit the Firth of Forth Bridge, which had opened just a few days before we arrived, Midhope Castle, which Outlander fans know as Lallybroch, Rosslyn Chapel, which was in the Da Vinci Code, and Craigmillar Castle, which was featured on Outlander as Ardmere Prison. Our first stop of the day was the Newton Lay-by refurbishment. Is a parking lot that overlooks the new Firth of Forth Bridge. This bridge only opened a few days before we arrived, and it's quite beautiful. If you've been to the Tampa Bay area, you might recognize it because it looks quite similar to the Sunshine Skyway Bridge. And now the stop all Outlander fans were waiting for. Midhope Castle, also known as Lallybroch, the home of Jamie Fraser. The first building you encounter when you come up the drive is the Dovecot, which features in Season 3, Episode 2, where Fergus hides the gun. It is just to the left of the drive. Before walking to the house, I had to get a selfie. Midhope Castle is a 16th century tower house. It is the hamlet of Abercorn on the Hopetoun estate, a private estate. However, you can visit. It is just a few miles from the Queensferry Bridge. I photoshopped this panorama, removing all modern amenities, satellite dishes, signs, and tourists, to get an idea of what it might have looked like in its heyday. And every female tourist has to take that seat, just like Claire, sitting on the steps waiting for Jamie to come through the archway. This stonework was added in the later part of the 16th century when the castle belonged to Alexander Drummond of Midhope. The stone is inscribed AD 1582 MB, commemorating Alexander's wife, Marjorie Bruce. The house now is largely a shell, with no interior walls or floors. The ceiling of the tower was saved and has been planned to be put on display at Holyrood. When the producers of Outlander went looking for a cave for Jamie to hide in Season 3, they didn't have to look far. Just to the right of the driveway at Midhope Castle is some woods where the cave that Jamie hides in is located. It's actually this outcropping of rocks. They had put a black piece of fabric in there to make it look like it was shadowed and dark. Jamie never actually went into the cave. Our next stop was Rosslyn Chapel. It was founded in the mid-15th century as a Catholic church. After the Scottish Reformation in 1560, Catholic services to the public ended, though the Sinclair family, who owned the property, continued their Catholicism. The chapel was closed to the public until 1861, when it reopened according to the rites of the Scottish Episcopal Church. Since the 1980s, the church has been subject to many theories connecting it to the Knights Templar and the Holy Grail. This led to it being used in the Dan Brown thriller The Da Vinci Code, where the main character, Robert Langdon, played by Tom Hanks, discovers the chapel to be the hiding place of the Holy Grail. There were no pictures allowed inside, though I highly recommend a visit. It truly is a magical place, whether you believe in the Knights Templar and the Holy Grail, or any of the other theories surrounding the church. It is quite beautiful. Our final stop of the day was Craigmillar Castle, used as the set of Ardmere Prison in Season 1 of Outlander. The importance of this castle is that it is where it is believed that Mary, Queen of Scots, plotted to have her second husband, Lord Darnley, murdered for his part in the murder of her personal secretary, David Rizzio, at Holyrood Palace just a few months before. This scandal would lead to the downfall of Mary, Queen of Scots. I'll leave you with a few pictures and give you a moment to take a look around. Basement of the castle to the top. We went up to the top of the parapets, and this is looking down through what they call murder holes, where when a castle was under siege, they would pour things such as boiling water, oil, or raw sewage through these holes at the people attacking the castle. This is my friend Kathy and I at the top of the castle, 7 stories up from the ground. The views from up there were amazing. You could see all the way down to the Firth of Forth and Old Town Edinburgh, including Arthur's Seat. The view was stunning, but as it was getting near the end of the day, we had to hurry because the castle would be closing. When we got to the gate, we found that it was locked, and we could not get out. Luckily, the attendant was just closing the castle and made sure that the gate was locked so that no one could come in while she was checking the castle for stragglers. We finished our night at the Ocean Terminal Mall, just across the street from our hotel in Leith, where the Royal Yacht Britannia, seen here, is moored. I did a little shopping. I think I should have bought this tiara, don't you?